Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Kennedy half-dollar value coins, exploring their iconic design, hidden treasures, and shocking history as we reveal the top 3 most valuable and expensive U.S. half-dollars. The coins featured in this video include 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, D-Mint, Denver. 1992 Kennedy half-dollar, D-Mint, Denver. 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, D-Mint, Denver. These coins are struck in copper-nickel-clad composition and feature the iconic presidential seal reverse design, symbolizing strength and unity in American coinage. At first glance, these coins may appear dirty, worn, and heavily circulated, just ordinary pocket change. But don't be fooled. Certain rare mint errors, varieties, and high-grade condition examples have turned some of these seemingly common half-dollars into collector treasures worth thousands, and in rare cases, even more, dollars today. Money bag. So before you spend that old half-dollar sitting in your collection or coin jar, stick around, because you might be holding a hidden fortune in your hands. Backhand index pointing right first up. Coin number 1. A heavy silver-colored coin lands in a palm and stays there. It feels different. Bigger. Louder. More present than the coins people usually ignore. Yet even this one often goes unnoticed. Passed over. Forgotten. Spent without a second thought. But this is not just any coin. This is the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, struck in Denver, carrying the bold D-Mint mark, a coin born in a moment of change, carrying the weight of history, and hiding a story most people never stop to see. Its journey begins inside the Denver Mint. Steel presses thunder. Blanks of copper and nickel are struck with overwhelming force, forming a coin larger and heavier than the rest. On one side appears John F. Kennedy, a face frozen in time, calm yet powerful, representing a nation that once stood still in shock. On the reverse, the iconic presidential seal, an eagle with outstretched wings, arrows in one claw, olive branch in the other, symbolizing strength and peace at once. This coin is not just currency, it is memory, it is legacy, it is a moment captured forever. When it first leaves the mint, it is flawless. Bright. Reflective. Sharp in every detail. The edges are strong. The eagle's feathers are crisp. Kennedy's profile is clean and untouched. It shines with a presence that demands attention. Packed into rolls, shipped across the country, released into circulation, ready to enter a world that will slowly wear it down. Then the journey begins. Real movement. Real life. The coin passes through hands, but not as often as smaller coins. It sits longer. Waits longer. Sometimes it stays in drawers. Sometimes in jars. Sometimes it moves quickly, used in a transaction, handed off, forgotten again. And with every movement, it changes. Slowly. Quietly. The shine begins to fade. Scratches appear. The once perfect surface becomes marked by time. Years pass. Decades pass. The coin becomes worn. Dirty. Heavily circulated. The edges soften. Kennedy's face loses its sharpness. The eagle's details begin to blur. To most people, this is the end of its story. Just 50 cents. Just an old coin. Nothing special. But that is where the truth begins. Because collectors see what others don't. They don't just see wear, they see survival. They don't just see age, they see rarity. The 1971 D-Mint mark becomes a clue. A small detail, but powerful. It connects the coin to its origin. To a specific place. A specific moment in time when millions were made, but not all survived the same way. Every mark on this coin tells a story. Every scratch is a memory of movement. Every worn edge is proof that it has lived through decades of exchange, storage, and rediscovery. It has been part of countless moments, most forgotten, but still carried within the metal itself. Imagine holding it now. A worn 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar. It doesn't shine like before, but it feels important. You turn it slowly under the light. The faded details begin to speak. The weight in your hand feels different now, not just physical, but historical. In the world of coin collecting, coins like this can carry unexpected and sometimes shocking value. Not because they are perfect, but because they are unique. A rare strike. A subtle variation. A coin that survived decades in a way others didn't. These are the details that can turn an ordinary $50 into something far greater than its face value. Something collectors search for. Something hidden in plain sight. The 1971 Kennedy $50 from Denver is more than just 50 cents. It is a symbol of a nation's memory. A coin born after a turning point in history. A traveler through time that has quietly moved through decades without being fully understood. And for the right person, at the right moment, it can become more than just a coin. It can become a discovery. A realization. A hidden opportunity waiting to be seen. So the next time a $50 finds its way into your hand, don't ignore it. Don't rush to spend it. Pause. Look closer. Because sometimes, the coins that feel the most ordinary carry the most powerful stories. And sometimes, they carry a value that no one expects until it's finally discovered. A large, silver-colored coin slips quietly from a pocket and lands with a heavier sound than the rest. It doesn't roll far. It doesn't shine the way it once did. Most people wouldn't even pick it up twice. To them, it's just 50 cents. Just another $50 lost in time. But this is not just any coin. This is the 1992 Kennedy $50, struck in Denver, marked with the bold D Mint mark, a coin that carries weight, history, and a silent story hidden beneath years of wear. Its journey begins inside the Denver Mint. Steel presses strike with force. Blanks of copper and nickel are transformed into something precise, something lasting. On the front appears John F. Kennedy, a face that represents a moment in history that changed a nation forever. On the reverse, the presidential seal, an eagle with wings spread wide, holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace at the same time. This is not just a coin. It is a message, a memory, a legacy pressed into metal. When it first leaves the mint, it is flawless. Bright. Clean. Sharp in every detail. The edges are strong. The surface reflects light with a smooth glow. Kennedy's profile is crisp. The eagle's feathers are perfectly defined. It looks powerful. Untouched. Alive. Packed into rolls, sent into circulation, ready to begin a journey that will slowly transform it forever. Then comes life. Real movement. The coin begins to travel. It passes through hands, though not as quickly as smaller coins. Sometimes it stays hidden in drawers. Sometimes it sits in jars for years. Sometimes it moves quickly through transactions, spent, received, forgotten again. And with every moment, it changes. Slowly. Quietly. The shine begins to fade. Tiny scratches appear. The once perfect surface becomes worn. Years turn into decades. The coin becomes dirty. Heavily circulated. The edges soften. Kennedy's face begins to lose its sharpness. The eagle on the reverse becomes less detailed. To most people, this is the end. Just 50 cents. Just an old coin with no importance. But collectors don't see it that way. They look deeper. They search for meaning in the smallest details. The 1992 D Mint mark becomes a clue. A small letter that connects the coin to its origin, to a specific place, a specific moment. And sometimes, within coins like this, there are subtle differences, tiny variations, unique strikes, details that separate one coin from millions of others. Every scratch on this coin is part of its story. Every worn edge is proof of its journey. It has moved through years of everyday life. Through countless hands. Through moments that were never recorded but still exist within the metal. It is a silent witness, carrying time within itself. Imagine holding it now. A worn 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar. It doesn't shine the way it once did. But it feels different. Heavier, not just in weight, but in meaning. You turn it slowly under the light. You see the marks. The faded details. And suddenly, you realize, this coin has lived a life no one can recreate. In the world of collectors, coins like this can carry unexpected value. Not because they are perfect, but because they are unique. A rare variation. A special strike. A coin that survived when others didn't. These are the things that can turn an ordinary half-dollar into something far greater than its face value. Something rare. Something desirable. Something hidden in plain sight. The 1992 Kennedy half-dollar from Denver is more than just currency. It is a piece of history. A reminder of a nation's past. A traveler through decades of quiet movement. And for the right person, at the right moment, it can become more than just 50 cents. It can become a discovery. A hidden opportunity. A story waiting to be understood. So the next time you see a half-dollar, don't ignore it. Don't rush to spend it. Pause. Look closer. Because sometimes, the coins that seem the most ordinary carry the most extraordinary stories. And sometimes, they carry a value that no one sees until it's finally discovered. A heavy coin drops into your hand, and for a moment, you feel it. Not just the weight of metal, but something more. Something older. Something quieter. Most people wouldn't notice. They would spend it without thinking. Let it slip away like any other piece of change. But this is not just any coin. This is the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, struck in Denver, carrying the bold D Mint mark, a coin born in a time of change, carrying a silent story that has traveled through decades unnoticed. Its story begins inside the powerful walls of the Denver Mint. Machines thunder. Metal blanks are pressed with immense force, shaping a coin larger and stronger than most. A blend of copper and nickel gives it that familiar silver color, but beneath that surface lies durability, designed to survive. On the front appears John F. Kennedy, a face that represents hope, leadership, and a moment in history that left a permanent mark on a nation. On the reverse, the presidential seal spreads across the surface, an eagle with wings wide, holding arrows and an olive branch, balancing power and peace. This is not just design, it is symbolism frozen in metal. When the coin is first struck, it is flawless. Bright. Sharp. Alive with detail. The edges are strong. The eagle's feathers are clear. Kennedy's profile stands out with precision. It reflects light with a clean, metallic glow. It looks untouched by time, because it is. Packed into rolls, sent into circulation, released into the world, ready to begin a journey that will slowly change everything. Then comes movement. Real life. The coin begins to travel. It passes through hands, but not as quickly as smaller coins. Sometimes it sits quietly in drawers. Sometimes it rests in jars for years. Sometimes it moves suddenly, spent, exchanged, forgotten again. And with every moment, something changes. Slowly. Quietly. The shine begins to fade. Tiny scratches appear. The once perfect surface becomes worn. Years pass. Decades pass. The coin becomes dirty. Heavily circulated. The edges soften. Kennedy's face loses its sharpness. The eagle's details begin to blur. To most people, this is where the story ends. Just 50 cents. Just an old coin. Nothing special. Nothing worth a second look. But collectors see something else entirely. They look beyond the wear. They search for meaning in the smallest details. The 1972 D Mint mark becomes a key. A small letter that connects the coin to its origin, to a place, a moment, a history that cannot be repeated. They study the strike. The condition. The tiny variations that separate one coin from millions of others. Every mark on this coin tells a story. Every scratch is a memory. Every worn edge is proof that it has survived decades of movement. It has traveled through countless hands, through everyday moments that no one remembers, but the coin does. It carries those moments silently, locked within its surface. Imagine holding it now. A worn 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar. It doesn't shine like it once did. But it feels different. Heavier, not just in weight, but in meaning. You turn it slowly under the light. You see the faded details. The marks of time. And something shifts. You begin to understand, this coin is not ordinary. It has lived a life that cannot be recreated. In the world of coin collecting, coins like this can carry surprising and sometimes shocking value. Not because they are perfect, but because they are unique. A rare strike. A subtle variation. A coin that survived when others didn't. These are the details that can turn an ordinary half-dollar into something far greater than its face value. Something collectors search for. Something hidden in plain sight. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar from Denver is more than just currency. It is a piece of history. A traveler through time. A silent witness to decades of life. And for the right person, at the right moment, it can become more than just 50 cents. It can become a discovery. A hidden opportunity. A reminder that even the most ordinary things can carry extraordinary potential. So the next time a half-dollar touches your hand, don't ignore it. Don't rush to spend it. Pause. Look closer. Because sometimes, the coins that seem the most ordinary carry the most powerful stories. And sometimes, they carry a value waiting quietly until someone finally sees it.